Yes. You know, Darren just told me that they were as high as like 12 in the RPI. So when you look at Temple's schedule, they have not enjoyed the home bye game, so to speak, where, you know, so Michigan State's #1 in the country. We've both played Savannah State and Cleveland State. Temple they haven't had that game, and you know it proves the point. You know, it's tough to do it every night. You know, and that depending on who you got on your team, but you know most of us, you know, we don't have 12 veteran guys that can go through 13 straight games against like opponents. If you do, you're 7-6. It's why the NFL is the way the NFL is. So their schedule their record, I should say, is indicative of their schedule. And what happens also is you play a home game and Tulane just plays out of their mind against you. Making shots. Their centers making jump shots. They bank in a three right when you make a run to win the game. So, because that's what happens, you get into conference play, and then something like that happens to you. You got to give Tulane credit in that game. Then you go to Houston and lose by 3, and you know Houston is probably an NCAA tournament team. I think that's a consensus opinion now. And you lose by 3 on the road to an NCAA tournament team. So, you know, Temple's always they get great guard play. They shoot the 3 extremely well, and let's just face it, they always play well against us. Even though last year we won both games, they always play well against us. And historically, we haven't shot the ball well there for whatever reason. We always seem to open the conference play the first week there. So, you know, all conference games are tough. So you just got to be ready to play. Their three-point shooting is a big concern, and their guard play.
You don't get a lot of easy baskets off them because they take care of the ball so well. Is that?
Yeah, they've always been that way. You know, Coach Dumpf brought that with him. He had that very similar in common with Coach Chaney. So they just part of the reason they take care of the ball they usually play 3 guards, and they don't overcomplicate things on offense. So they don't force a lot of passes in. They rely on spacing, and their style of offense is a big reason as well. And it's hard to press them because they play multiple ball handlers. So, yeah, it's hard to get easy baskets on them.
Their defensive numbers aren't very good, though.
Right. Now, again, I would yes, you know, I'm sure Coach Dumpf would say now we need to be better defensively because, you know, percentage-wise, they're giving up a higher percentage than you would normally see from a Temple team, no question about it. That being said, you know, your numbers are indicative of who you're playing. So they don't have any fluff in their numbers. You know, that being said, you know, I'm sure he would say that they need to do a little bit better job defensively, knowing him and the way they play defense historically. So, you know, again, though, I throw a lot of stuff out the window when we play this game. You know, I expect a dogfight. I'm sure I'll be right.
Do you know why they don't play those bye games like other schools do?
Budget. Plain and simple, budget. It's a tough world out there for everybody that's not getting $20 million a year from their TV contracts, unless you don't have football. But for those that have football, and in the Mountain West, the Conference USA, and the American, it's tough. It's a budget situation.
How is Kane, and what percentage would you put on him playing?
We'll see. To be honest with you, they'll do some stuff with him today. We'll see how he feels today. I couldn't possibly tell you. We'll have a better chance when he walks down here. Bob will try to move him around today a little bit. He won't practice today, but when Bob tries to move him around, see how he reacts to that. But
you said you were going to hold him out a couple of days.
Yeah, very possible. You know, it's a long year. He's valuable to us. That's why we got guys on scholarship. You know, and I think that you know, we're very fortunate to have a guy that can play point guard, Jacob Evans. you know, so Justin don't have to play 40, and we can still maintain our style of play. But I'd love to have you, but I think it's more important you don't rush a guy back from an ankle injury or any injury, to be honest with you. So, you know, with those, they'll clear him, then he'll go through it. I'll watch him closely. You know, I don't want him pushing it.
So he's spraying it in practice?
Yeah. Chad knew what day. I didn't know what day.
Thursday, he said, yeah.
Those are weird, you know. Ankle. It's just they're so everyone's different, and then guys react different.
Oh, I know, and they don't really heal till the season's over. Most of them.
Yeah, you know. I remember he's fun. You know,
Totally.
I'm friends with Bobby Brandon. You know, he said the key. Bobby Brandon told me one time the key is sprain your ankle so many times you can't do it anymore. Then you have no ligaments left. I remember he used to tell that it worked for him. And once he got it all out, then he was good. He just couldn't do it anymore.
Coach, so Kyle Washington came here, obviously needing to work on the defensive end. How would you assess his progress at this point?
Well, his effort at it's tremendous. You know, guys have natural instincts, and guys are good at certain things. You know, Kyle's obviously the best thing he does out there is score. The other best thing that Kyle does for your team doesn't show up in the stat sheet is his positive attitude. And every day he comes to practice, he's excited about being at practice. His attitude is great, and his personality and his love for basketball is important for a team. You got to have some guys like that, because some guys, you know, maybe are a little more introverted. So you got to have some extroverts that keep everybody happy about playing, try to keep the attitude and the atmosphere light, and have it just bring excitement every day. And I know that doesn't show up in a stat sheet, but I've been doing this long enough. I can tell you it matters. It really matters when you got to have a couple of guys like that. So, you know, but his willingness to always try, he knows what he needs to improve on, and he constantly is trying to do it. You know, with him, it's never effort related with him as far as what he's trying to do. Yeah. It's just, you know, he'll retire a better offensive player. That's just how it is. You know, we all got our strengths.
Yeah. Does he seem like he's walling up a little better?
Yeah, he's definitely gotten better at that, holding his ground in the post.
Especially in the games with, you know, teams that have more traditional post players.
Yeah.
Just bang down there. Okay.
Just being a little bit, it's baby steps with a guy, just getting a guy to be more fundamental with what he's doing.
Right.
You mentioned Jacob playing some point zone, and I know in basketball it's not the position you play offensively, it's the position you can guard defensively. What position you actually play? Do you have any concerns with him being able to?
Well, the way we do it, so if Justin would be out, Trevor Moore is probably our next best on the ball guy. So in our pressure defense, we can have Trevor do that on the defensive side, and not wear Jake down up front. But Jake's he's in tremendous shape, and even his freshman year, he just doesn't get tired. Like I've never had an assistant coach say, "Hey, we need to take Jake out. He's tired." Like I've never had anybody say that at any point. Some guys, you can see it, man. They're just like, you're a fan, you're whoever. You look out and say, that guy's dead. This never happened with him. But I do think it's a fact. You don't want to take away from his offense. So, but Trevor does a good job of it. He would be our next guy on the ball as far as pressure in our defense behind Justin and Kane.
Anything else?
Good.
Thanks.
Good.